Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Friday. Friday. We made it to the end of the week, June 23rd, 2023. This is a day that a lot of people seem to have birthdays. I feel like a lot of June 23 for some reason is a day that there's just lots of birthdays, lots of significant events are happening on the 23rd. I don't know what it is. It's just maybe one of those things, like the stars are aligning or something like that. But if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. Before we get into the show today, we're going to have a guest. We're going to have Emily Heller on. She's in kind of the digital green room. I don't know what we're going to really call that space, but she's in kind of a grayed out space here. I can bring her on in just a second. But before I do that, I do want to say hi to everyone listening on the podcast on the audio only version. Man, it's getting hot out there, guys. So hopefully you guys are staying hydrated and taking it a little bit easy on the paces because it's hard work just to be running out there. But hopefully you're having a good time listening to this. And everyone watching this on YouTube later, but not live, welcome to the #1 running podcast to listen to while you're trying to figure out if your kids would prefer canoeing or kayaking. That's the big question amongst the girls. In my house this weekend, we're not sure what we want to do this weekend. There's lots of we're in Crystal Lake. There's lakes here. We want to do something. Nautical is not the right word, but we're trying to figure out if the girls can handle a kayak on their own or if we should just do a rowboat or a canoe. But if you guys have any input, this is a place to put it because this is the #1 place to listen to running content while also searching for lake activities that you can do. All right. Let's see who we got in chat. We got Eliza says, hi, co-fam. Looking forward to this chat with Emily Heller. And let's see. Ku Vang says, hello. I opted out heading out into the office until after this live stream. Oh, opted out of heading into the office. Oh, okay. So we're preventing you from doing work today? Nice. And Mark says, hi, everyone. Got my run this morning to beat the heat. Not a common occurrence for me. So my energy level at work is all wonky. And then let's do one more. Where did I see it? Luis comes in with a good morning, YouTube. I think that's a great place to bring Emily in. Emily, it is so good to see you. How are you doing?
Hey, guys. What's up? I'm doing well. How are you?
How is it temperature-wise for you guys in Long Island?
Today it's a little bit muggy.
Mhm.
It's actually been kind of a cooler summer. I think
Okay.
a cooler June. So I haven't really run at all this week because I just got off my last overnight shift of the week.
Okay.
So I haven't really been able to experience any of the weather outside, but hopefully this weekend I'll get a little run in or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to rewind for a second, in case anyone here doesn't know who Emily is, Emily has a really fantastic YouTube channel, Run Like Heller, which I love the name of that.
Thank you.
I love that. I also love the fact that it's you have the parentheses in there. So it's
Yes.
Run Like How, but it's, it's very clear.
Yeah,
the
well,
fun there.
when I was younger, when I was in, grade school, everyone used to say, "Oh, you have a curse in your name. Oh, H-E double hockey sticks," but you know what? I think I've used it kind of to my benefit at this point with the
Okay.
YouTube channel, so I've made
Nice.
something good out of it.
We've got a lot of people saying hello to you in the chat. We've got
Oh.
Koo saying hello, Emily. I like that. I like what he did there. Have you had that before?
A little bit, not as much as the hell comment when I was younger, but yes.
Okay. A lot of people saying the YouTube. Stevie 76
Yeah.
coming in with that. And Run the World says, I love your channel, Emily.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Uh, obvious question. How did you
Mhm.
come up with the good morning YouTube thing? Where did that come from? You just did it one day and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah?
So, back in 2019, when I first made my channel, I actually was going to the city to see Seth D'Amour. It was one of the New York City Marathon weekends, and
Yeah.
he was having a group run. So we decided to go. And in the morning during that video, I just said, "Good morning, YouTube," but kind of a lot more watered down than what it's become. And ever since then, I have no idea why, but I just kept doing it, and it's very polarizing. I've gotten a lot of comments
Oh,
on my YouTube that are like, "Oh, we love that, don't stop doing it," and then I've gotten more comments that are like, "Please stop singing in the beginning of your YouTube videos, it's really cringe."
oh, really?
So but I won't stop, so I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, I feel like that. I mean, if you're getting a strong response, then that's a
Mhm.
a good thing. And I mean, if it was
Exactly.
all negative, then it'd be fine. But like if it's a strong
Yeah.
polarizing response, and I feel like, that's probably something that is catchy even for the people that claim to not like it.
I think so. I think so. So I'm gonna stick with it.
All right. Fiona has a question for you. Fiona 1977 says, "Does Emily run with her dog?"
I have run with her before,
Mm,
but she needs a little more walking training
mm,
before we start running
okay.
because she is the kind of dog that sees a squirrel, sees another dog, sees any kind of outside world living thing, and she will just sprint to that living thing. So I'm trying not to get injured on my walk slash runs with my dog. So I've been trying to work with her to be a little bit better on the leash, and then maybe as she gets a little bit older, she'll kind of calm down a bit.
Mhm.
But she's pretty energetic.
'Cause
So
your dog's still kind of in the puppy phase though, right?
yeah, I mean, she's 3, so it's not
Okay.
like she's really tiny, but she is still she really acts young still.
Yeah,
She's also right over here, so if she starts barking at some point, I'll mute myself, but,
that's fine.
but yeah,
'Cause I remember, like, someone had asked you this earlier. I don't know where I saw it, but you were like, "Well, she's just a puppy, so I really can't be running her yet." And so I was like,
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, she's a little bit, I mean, she's young. Maybe when she gets to be a little bit older, she'll tone it down a little bit,
Yeah.
be less high energy.
Okay. Now you had mentioned that, like, you had done overnights all this week,
Mhm.
'cause you're in, like, regular media as well as being on social media too?
Yes. I work at CBS News as a coordinating producer there. So usually my shift is 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., but I have been filling in this week on the overnights. And I actually did the overnights for a year, a couple of years ago. And I had gotten into like a running groove on the overnights when I was doing it more consistently. But this week I just like have not been able to get out there.
Yeah.
So I took a nap. I'm feeling good. Hopefully,
Okay.
maybe tomorrow I'll get
Great.
out there. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. And so, like, a producer, that means you're working with, like, live television and, like, that kinda stuff that's coming in?
Yeah, kind of. So I work for a division that works with all the like affiliates in the country. So the affiliates in like I don't every state has pretty much has one, and lots of different cities in those states. So if something breaks in like if there's a breaking news in let's say like St. Louis, Missouri, we'll work with that affiliate to bring it in so that they can air that content on like the major shows like CBS Mornings and CBS Evening News. And then other affiliates can use that content on their broadcasts as well.
That's wild. That's like a real job.
I mean, it has its moments where it's really cool, and it has its moments where you kinda wanna rip your hair out a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah,
Alright.
but it's never the same any day, so that's
Yeah.
kind of the fun slash tough part about it, I guess you
Yeah.
could say. Yeah.
I think I've asked you this before, but I think maybe been a couple years. Do
Mhm.
they know at your work about the YouTube channel?
Yes. So they kinda caught on a little bit to it.
Okay.
I have a few really close friends who I work with because 'cause I've been working there for a long time, and they'll say it out loud, and they'll say like, "Oh, run like Heller, you have"
Okay.
they at first, they were kinda, like, not poking fun necessarily, but
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
kinda like a goofy thing, and now I think that they've seen that it's kind of grown legs and it's kind
Mhm.
of a thing, so they're a little more impressed, I think.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but they do know about it and they think it's cool. I don't know if they completely understand it, but they
Okay.
respect it. So that's
Okay.
good.
Because 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
wondering, like, I've met a couple of different people who are, like, on camera personalities for news.
Mhm.
And I feel like if you are in the news and you run, then, like, you become the person that has to now run, like, the Chicago Marathon or whatever, and
Yeah.
also will have a camera crew waiting for you at the finish line.
Oh,
Has
yeah,
has that
totally.
happened to you yet? Have they
No, no. No, I think that's more yeah, I don't think so. I think that's more like if you're
Yeah,
like an on-air personality,
sure,
yeah. Behind the scenes, I don't think they care so much.
okay. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, I feel like it could be I think it's only a matter of time because then it's gonna be like, "Oh, well, we have this internet celebrity over here. Normally, she's behind the camera." I feel like in front of the camera people like it when the behind the camera people get on TV. It's
Yeah.
like they get a kick out of it, and I feel like it's just a matter of time before, like, you have a camera crew waiting to surprise you at a finish line.
Oh, I mean, if that happens at New York City Marathon, I look forward to it. Just see a bunch of my coworkers there with a camera and a mic and the
Yeah.
whole situation. Yeah, great. I would love
Awesome.
nothing more than that.
Okay. We have some questions coming in from the
Oh,
audience. Shannon's here. She says, question for Emily. Do you think your relationship with running and running goals has changed since that horrifically hot Chicago's 2020? Speaking of hot Chicago's,
it's a
you
good
seem like you're in
question.
a great spot with it right now.
Yes. So 2021 Chicago was a very humbling experience for me, for a number of reasons. I think that I went into that race expecting a little too much out of myself, only because I was so focused on what everyone else was doing around me, you know, comparing myself to other runners basically. And I put too much pressure on myself, and obviously it was very hot, so I didn't do anywhere near what I wanted. And I came away from that kind of thinking that I wanted to rearrange what running meant to me in my head. And at this point in my running, I feel like I it's more of a relaxing activity. It's something that I use to kind of like clear my mind. It's almost like a therapy kind of.
Mhm,
And every race I now enter, I enter with the number one goal of having fun
mhm.
and having a good time and having a positive experience, even if it's a tough day, even if it's a hard course, um, instead of looking for a PR. I think that's
Okay.
not a thing for me anymore.
Okay.
I like to PR, that's great, and if I can, I will try, but that can't be my number one goal for me, and since I've kind of let go of that, it's been a much more positive experience.
Um, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Um,
Yeah.
what was the process like to get to there though?
Oh, I think the process was kind of having an inner temper tantrum during Chicago where I was like, "This stinks, I wanna DNF, but
Mhm.
I can't DNF because what's everyone gonna think? Like, everyone knows I'm doing this." So, I fought a lot of demons in my head that day to just get to the finish line, and I also remembered, like, "Hey, there are people who, like, would love to have a time like this, would love to run this race, would love to finish this race." So that was a lot of inner work that I did honestly on the course, every step I took that day. And then
Okay.
after I came home and I came back to New York, I just kind of deconstructed running. I stopped worrying for a while about pace and I wanted to run a little bit more easy, more frequently. And I went on runs that I enjoyed when I wanted to do them, not like necessarily on a schedule. And I think just gradually it it just changed over time. And then I did a marathon to kind of redeem that feeling, that bad feeling that I had in my bad taste in my mouth I had after Chicago. I did a marathon on Long Island in October and I put no pressure on it, had a great time, and ended up PRing.
Okay.
So that kind
Nice.
of reset for me a little bit what the marathon felt like.
And so how do you avoid though being like, well, I took it easy and I like figured out what running means to me and then I
Mhm.
PR'd. So let's try PRing again, right? How
Mhm.
how do you avoid that kind of like or how do you
Yeah.
know that that's a pitfall for you that you have to avoid?
Well, it's interesting because it's not necessarily completely out of my mind. It's always I think in any runner's head, I don't wanna put words in anybody's mouth, but it's in the back of my mind, like, maybe I could PR. Maybe I will PR. But the number one thing that I always have to remember, even when I'm going out for, like, runs at home, is that I need to, think about how I feel first and then kind of run with it. So if I'm just not having a good day, whether it's at a race or a workout, then I stay level. I don't go crazy. And if I'm having a better day, then I try to really pick it up and see what I can do. So it's really a day to day kind of thing.
Okay. That's that's very disciplined, it feels like.
It doesn't always work as well as it sounds, but
Yeah.
that's what I try to practice at
Okay.
least. Yeah.
Well, it seems to be paying off for you.
Yes. Thank
Um,
you.
let's get to another question.
All right.
Daniel, well, let's go with Frank. Frank's who came in first. Do you have a shoe of the year so far? As someone that
Oh,
probably
wow.
sees about as many shoes, if not more than I do, what's kind of like jumping out at you so far this year?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I did run. I'm bringing up my, it's been a week, so I haven't run at all. So I forget all the shoes that I've run in. Shoe that I've run in so far that I've really liked has probably been um, the Hoka Rocket X2 is something that I really, really like, and was surprised by. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that shoe, and I'm really not a big like super shoe gal to begin with.
Mhm.
Um, but I think that shoe has had the most progress, I'd say.
Mhm.
It's the best update to a shoe that I've experienced. Have you run in that one?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you
like,
have, right?
if we're gonna do, like, senior superlatives or, like, kind
Mhm.
of, like, end of season, like, sports awards, I feel like it's most improved player, you know?
Oh, totally, yeah, yeah. It's really enjoyable. I thought maybe it was gonna feel a little bit firm, and it's not exactly the softest super shoe out there,
Mhm.
but I do think it's probably one of my top pick of the year so far in
Oh,
terms of most
okay.
surprising and enjoyable to run in.
Okay. I think that I don't really do the, like, shoe of the year as the year goes. I mean, I just
Right.
saw, like, Believe in the Run did, like, a best shoes of
Yeah,
23 so far, and I'm like, "Oh, that's probably gonna do a lot of views." I'm like, "Maybe I should make one of
I
those."
know. I always think about that too, I'm like, "Ooh, maybe that's
Yeah,
a good idea." Yeah, I've
yeah,
done it a couple times, but,
yeah.
mostly I just stick to the end of the year kinda thing.
That's kinda how I feel about
Yeah.
it too, but, like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna go a different way for, like, shoe of the year this year
Hmm.
because, like, I've started doing the new thing where I do, like, both similar shoes and also and, like, complementary shoes
Yeah.
in my reviews,
Mhm.
and, like, for, like, shoes that I'm like, "You should also consider," the Adizero SL keeps coming up. It's not like a shoe that I'd be like, "This is the best daily trainer of the year," but I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know, like, for pretty much any daily trainer, you should probably look at that one too, and I'm like, if it
Yeah.
comes up that often in conversation, that probably says something about the shoe." So I'm not sure if I go that way or if I'm just gonna be like, it's probably gonna be the next Nova Blast or the next Rebel." So I'm like, "Well, let's just
I'm
wait till those come out."
really excited for the next Nova Blast because I had the unpopular opinion that I didn't really like the 3rd one.
Mm, mhm,
But I'm very excited to see if I like the 4th one, and as far as the Adidas SL goes, I have it upstairs, I think, but I just have not gotten to run in it yet, but if you
mhm.
say it's good, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's not gonna be my top daily trainer
Right.
of the year, but it's like, I feel like I could recommend it to a lot of people, and it's pretty cheap, so I feel like,
I like that.
maybe there's some different criteria for shoe of the year this year. I don't know. That's kinda
I
what I
mean, there's a lot of people who comment on my videos who are like, "These shoes are getting too expensive. They're
Mhm,
ridiculous prices." So, I love to point out, like, more affordable shoes whenever I can.
mhm. I used to never talk about prices about shoes, like, hardly ever, unless it was, like,
Mhm.
ridiculously low or ridiculously high. But, like, this year, every shoe is either 130 or $160, and I'm like, "That's a lot."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Alright, someone's gotta say something." I'm like
It's true.
I'm looking at around and I'm like, "Oh, that's me. I gotta say something."
Yeah, you're the guy. You're that guy.
So, yeah, but, like, because they are getting expensive, and it's kinda wild.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get to another question. Daniel Burton wants to know, "What's your favorite training shoe?" I guess it's kinda the same question, but since you answered Rocket X2, it's probably gonna have a different answer.
Yeah, my favorite training shoes, I have 2 that come to mind. I really like the Clifton 9 right now. That's a great shoe.
Mhm.
An update, I think that's also been pretty solid, and then the other one that I've really liked has been the Cumulus 25 from Asics. I was impressed with that as well. I thought it was I've never been impressed with a Cumulus before, to be honest, but I was impressed with this one, and I quite like it. I think it's this really great update.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is I did not like the Cumulus 25. I thought it was
Mhm.
okay, but, like,
Yeah.
I kind of like the 24 better, which was
Okay,
I
that's
never
fair.
thought I would say that because the 24 looks like an old Asics, and the
Yeah,
25 looks like a new one, and I'm like, "I'm
right.
definitely gonna like this new one better," and I'm like, I actually don't think I do." So, that
Why
was a
not?
surprise to me.
What's the
I
difference between the 2?
It just feels a little bit, more firm and,
Okay.
less kind of, like, bouncy to me. And so, like, I'm just not enjoying it as much. Sometimes there's just some shoes, I don't know, like, the way it rolls or whatever, it makes my foot slap, where it feels like it's
Mhm.
slapping, and I'll get
Yeah.
a pain under like the pads of the foot. Like I reviewed the Pegasus for today, and like that's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
that's happening in that one. And so it's similar in the Cumulus, like a same thing. And if I'm running a Ghost, I get the same thing too, where it's just like there's something about it that just seems like stiff or uncomfortable, and just don't love them.
Yeah, the Pegasus is definitely a shoe that I've had a lot of issues with in the past. I have the new one. I have the new one, but I haven't run in it yet. I plan to. That's probably gonna be one of my next reviews, either that or, like, the new Triumph. I've gotten a lot of people asking me
Okay.
to review that one, so those
Do
are
you
on
have
the list.
the do you have the what is it, 21 that we're on?
20 yeah, I think 21.
Is that the new like 21 or is it like the have you
Maybe
seen
it's 22. I can't even
no,
remember anymore.
I think it's 21. But, like,
Okay.
have you seen the Run for Good version? I saw it at the running event, and then I have not seen anyone get it. It's supposed
Oh,
to be like an eco-friendly
yes. I
version.
think I might have that.
Do you really?
I
Alright,
don't know if
I'm
I'm
very
allowed to
curious.
say that. I don't oh, no.
You gotta check my
I have
email to see if it's
I
okay to
might.
talk about that one.
Oh, no. I think I might have that shoe. I haven't run in it yet, though, but I have run in the regular new Triumph, and it
Okay,
I like it. I don't wanna spoil too much, but I
sure.
think it's better than the last one somewhat, even though it's kind of the
Oh,
same midsole, feels different to me for some reason.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, an upper can totally change an
For sure.
otherwise same midsole.
Mhm.
Um,
Definitely.
yeah, I was thinking that I might not review the 21 this year and just go to the Run for Good one because 'cause I'm
Yeah.
really curious about how that one's gonna go. But
Yeah, that's a
alright.
good idea. Or maybe I was thinking maybe do, like, a comparison,
Okay.
um,
Mhm.
like, one video, putting them both in because they're
Yeah.
the update's not so intense this year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I like that.
All the possibilities.
Alright, Eric wants to know, do you have a preference, training in the cold for a spring marathon or training in the heat for a fall marathon? I have a very strong preference, but
Mm.
what's yours?
I mean, I haven't done a spring marathon, so I guess
Mhm.
the only option for me is to train in the heat for
Yeah.
a fall marathon, but
Mm.
yeah, if I think I'd rather train in the cold, honestly. I just
Mhm.
run better in the cold, my heart rate is obviously lower, um, but the one thing that I do like about running in the heat is that I don't have to wear, like, 87,000 layers of clothing, and I can just, like, put on a sports bra, shorts, and be out the door. It's not this whole, like, hat, 10 jackets, leggings, that whole thing. So,
You know, I don't mind that because
yeah,
if I have that many layers on, there's pockets. And so,
that's
like,
true.
in the summer, I gotta figure out, like, where am I gonna hold all this stuff? Because these
Yeah,
split shorts aren't gonna hold any gels, that
no,
kind
that's
of
why I
thing?
don't wear them, yeah. I
I
only
mean,
wear those, like, tight shorts with the pockets on the side, like, that's all I really usually wear.
exactly, me too, but, like, people are like, "With the split shorts, they're just flowy, it's a lot cooler," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Maybe, but, like, where are you putting your stuff? Like, where's your
I
car keys?"
know,
That's what I
I
want.
know, I know, and you guys, like, some of our sports bras have some pockets, like, you
Mhm,
guys, if
mhm.
you're running shirtless, like, that's even you have nowhere to put anything.
Yeah, yeah, there's
Just
not a
run
lot
with
of
it in your mouth. Just run with it,
yeah,
like
I don't know, I feel like you gotta, like then it's like if I gotta get a flip belt to hold my stuff because I don't want my pants to be too hot, but I'm like, the flip belt
mhm.
isn't 0 degrees, you know what I mean? It doesn't ch it
Yeah.
makes things hotter
I
too, so
have a
I'm like,
spy belt. Have you ever tried a spy belt before?
I have, my wife
Yeah.
has a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's not
So I
bad.
bought hers. Yeah, it's less
It's
hot.
yes, that's why I was mentioning. It's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Lou Klein says, "Everybody, if you're on Instagram right now, Emily's super close to 10,000, help her
Oh
out."
my god, please help. I'm trying so hard to get to 10,000. Oh my goodness. Yes, we're gonna get there. Thank you, Luke Line, for this because I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Trying.
everyone make sure that you go and, hit the follow button because you know what? You probably are already seeing her posts because of
Mm,
the way that Instagram works, but, like,
yeah.
here's the thing that I have not been explaining this, but I feel like maybe people already know this, maybe it's obvious, but, like, if you follow someone, then you will see their reels, but if you just, like, see their stuff in your feed, and even if you like it all the time and it keeps getting fed to you, you won't see what their stories are until you follow, I think. I think
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
it
No,
works.
I think you're right about that. That sounds right.
So, like,
Yeah.
I feel like, for a lot of people on Instagram, like, they make their posts, which are, like, usually more, like, polished things, and then the
Mhm.
stories are kind of, like, in between stuff, so I usually
Yeah.
like stories more.
I like stories more too. A grid post is good, but I think like stories give you a better look into someone's life and like what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
so
please follow me if you don't. Yes.
and how are you doing on YouTube? What are the numbers like over there?
We're doing all right. We had a lull for a
Mhm.
while, but we're kind of back in a little bit of a groove. Although I don't think I'm putting out a video this week. But um, I mean, I couldn't run it all, so I have nothing, no content. But yeah, I'm doing better. I have, I think, 17.5K, so we're getting there. Um, I think I'm hoping to be at 18K by, in a couple months or so.
Okay.
Um, but I think it's been better because I am putting out more content like on Instagram. I think people see that. And then like, it's kind of like people who don't follow me on YouTube, maybe go and subscribe to my YouTube channel if they follow me on Instagram, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Um, so we're getting there. We're doing better than we were. I think what I had to discover was that it can't just be a YouTube video. I think in today's like media world, it has to be like the real, it has to be like more grid posts, it has to be more stories to kind of bring in more people to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to that kind of long form content.
See, I had like a different approach to it for a while, and
Mhm.
I guess it's still kind of my approach, but like I'm starting to sway from it. But my approach has always been like I kind of want the two to exist completely separately, you
Interesting.
know. And so like because I know I don't like it if like someone's like if like I don't use Twitter anymore, but when I did, if it was like their
Mhm.
tweets were all like, "Hey, I made a blog post. Go read my blog or go,
Yeah.
subscribe to my newsletter." If like that's all it was, I was like, this is not that interesting of
Yeah,
content,
I
And so I
understand
was
that.
like, all right, so how do I exist on this different social media platform in a way that's not like, hey guys, go look at this other stuff,
Mhm.
Although
Mhm.
now, like, if you look at my stories, it's all, hey, go look at this other stuff.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
that's kind of like how I've been trying to approach Instagram. And like, even just that,
Good one.
there's been a lot of different ways. Like, and so what does that mean? So I've been experimenting with a lot of different things
That's a
too.
good idea because I think of it exactly how you're saying you don't think of it. Like if
Okay.
I but that's not but it's good to hear your perspective on it because I'm always looking for like different ways to kind of approach the two things. Yeah, because all of my reels and my grid posts are usually like, hey, I am posting a video about this.
Mhm.
Like my new kind of thing is to like preview the shoe that I'm running with a reel maybe
Mhm.
a couple of days beforehand.
Yeah.
And then I'll do like a grid post on the day that I post the video. But maybe there's room for, there should be other content in between there, like for reels and stuff like that. It shouldn't be just like, go look at this video, go look at that video. So that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even think you have to do a change. I just, like, don't put the, like, the go look at my video coming out in a couple of
Yeah.
days. I just don't put that part on. Like, I'll make a separate, like, standalone reel
Right.
that has, like, the shoe footage and some running footage in it,
Mhm.
and that is a piece that exists specifically for Instagram, and it's not designed to be like, "And the review's coming out in 2
Right.
days." Because sometimes I'm really excited about the shoe, and after the first run, I'll make the reel because 'cause I've had a good time.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then other times, I'll be like, I'll wait till it comes the same day as the video goes up on
Mhm.
YouTube, because or maybe depending on what else I have kind of like in the hopper.
Yeah.
So they're related, but they exist kinda separately too.
I have a question for you. Do you run with your GoPro or your camera every time that you run?
Yeah.
Wow, good for you. I do
Just
not
because
do
like
that.
just because like, there's been times where I'm like, I mean, this was more relevant for when I lived by the water, and, like,
Mhm.
you wouldn't know what days always when there was, like, nice splashy puddles. And so,
Yeah.
like, there'll be days where I'm like, "Oh, these are great puddles today," and I didn't have the camera, and I was upset. And so that's
Yeah,
what really
that's
got me
fair.
started on running with it every day. Or, like, in the winter, it might just look gray and overcast, but then, like, in the middle of the run, it started snowing, and the snow
Mhm.
always shows up well in a video, Not
Yeah,
always, but
yeah.
like, when it does, it's great. And so, like, after a couple of times of that, I was like, "Okay, I just gotta run with it every day."
Just yeah. I
And
need
then,
to
like
start doing it more.
and then you just see weird stuff all the time,
Right.
And so
Yeah.
because like, think about, like, it's always the jogger that finds the dead body, there's, like, you're out there more, and so you're gonna
Hey, is that
encounter
a dead body? with your GoPro stick.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw, like, a little hatchback, like, completely flip over on Lakeshore Drive one time as I was running
Holy
by. It was, like, an
crap.
icy morning, and I was like I didn't get it on film, but I, like as I'm going up to the car, I'm like, I'm just instinctively, you hit the button,
Yeah.
I ended up not, like, putting the I put, like I didn't put the person who was driving in the video, but
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just 'cause I knew the person was fine, but I was just like, "This is wild, this is not a normal thing." So that's just, like, just gotta bring it I just bring it every day.
You'd be a great person for news because you carry your camera around. Every time you see something that's like a newsworthy event, you just whip out the camera, send it
Yeah.
right
You know,
in.
I think about that kinda thing a lot. N It's not as easy to do out here in Crystal Lake, but when I was running, like, really early in the morning in Chicago, because like, a
Mhm.
lot of times the local news, a lot of the stuff, it seems to be from, like, some sort of camera crew that's not, like it
Yeah.
it's, like, says captured news or something like that, so, like, they put a little, like, watermark on it that it makes
Mhm.
it clear that it's like, well, this wasn't WGN Channel 9 cameras that were out there. This was someone
Right.
else's cameras, and they've licensed the footage. It seems
Oh,
I don't
yes, like
think that's how
stringer.
it
We
works.
call it stringer in the biz.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Oh, I could be one of those dudes." As long as
Yeah.
I just need more news to
You
happen on the
could. You get
lakefront.
they make a lot of money, Mike. They really do off of networks like mine.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Vanessa Martinez says, "Is co-starting a podcast only murders on my run?"
I'd listen. If that was a podcast, I would absolutely listen.
That's so funny.
That's
Alright.
good.
I think we got a bunch more questions here, but
Yeah,
I've been
let's do
just
it.
chatting along. Well, Matt Legrand, he's here. He says, "Yo, Co, what's going on?" Do you know Matt?
Eh,
Have you met Matt?
I have talked to Matt before, yeah.
Okay. Very cool. How's it going, Matt? And then Shannon was saying that, in terms of, like, the Instagram and, like, YouTube crossover, she says, "I noticed my Instagram friends dipping into the live stream now because I put the live stream, like, into the stories." So I've been, like, clipping
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
live stream. She's like, "So you're marrying the platforms." Okay. Alright.
You are. You are single-handedly doing that and
Uh,
inspiring us all.
well, I'm just like, I tell everyone in the live stream all the time, I'm like, "Guys, like, I kinda don't want this to grow because I like the group that's here."
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
people means, like, sometimes people don't understand, like, the rules and the customs kind of, and
Mhm,
so then it's like, there's some growing pains, if there can be, but then
mhm.
I'm on the other hand, I'm like, you know, if we find more people that are cool to hang out with, that's even more fun, so
Yeah,
I'm
for
like,
sure.
more people doesn't always mean bad things. So,
No. No, no,
uh
not always.
So, yeah, so I'm thinking like, okay, well, let's find ways to like, keep spreading the word, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, the run up says instead of being the night crawler, Kofuzi can be the day runner.
I like that. I like that. Wow, they're coming up with some good stuff for you.
Yeah, they are. It's a good place for brainstorming.
It seems like it.
Shannon says no new friends. No new friends. She doesn't want a new friend.
Yeah. That that's a Drake I think that's a Drake song, and I think I sometimes agree with that with Drake in that
Yeah.
song, but not always, not always.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You guys are really caught up on the dead body thing. Rob DeGeneres says, "Y'all want to see a dead body?"
No, not
And
particularly.
Dwayne Scott says, "Look a body," in quoting me. All right. Um, all right. Let's do one more. Let's do another running shoe question.
Okay.
Guys, I already let Emily know I was going to ask this, so that way she had time to think about it. Are you ready?
No, I think I am. I think I
Okay.
know.
All right. I didn't have time to put together a name that shoe for you, and I'll have to bring you back another time to play
Yeah,
name
that's
that
alright.
shoe. I feel like you'd be really good. And I was also like, Dude, she's been working overnights." I'm like, I don't want to try and like, ambush her
I
with
did
super
say
hard.
I was talking to some of my friends, and I was like, "Yeah, I think we're doing Name That Shoe," and I was like, "I my brain is just not not fully functioning, but it's okay."
Yeah.
I was
So
ready anyway.
we'll play a new game, and
Okay.
I think that's a game that I can use for a lot of people, and it's easy for me because I don't have to make any visual aids ahead of time. But it's a new
Mhm.
game called Underrated Overrated. You get to name one shoe that's underrated and one shoe that you think is overrated. And then if you guys in the chat want to chime in, just do one of each. I know you guys have lots, but like just do one of each. But Emily, why don't you hit us off first?
Alright, underrated, I think for shoes that I've most recently run in, probably the New Balance Propel.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
affordable,
Mhm.
guys.
Yeah.
We know that you like that, and it's not the most exciting shoe, like, it doesn't have any crazy technology, but the ride of that shoe is just really nice. I don't know, for a basic kind of daily trainer that I think you could probably do multiple different things on with, like, I think it could go long distance. I think if you just want one shoe, you could do more up-tempo stuff. It's not super heavy. Yeah, it's just a shoe that I really ended up being surprised about. I liked it way back in the day, and then I kinda just I got a couple different versions, but I never got a chance to review them for the channel. And then I got this most recent one, V4, I think. I can never remember the numbers of the shoes unless I'm looking at them. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say that's my pick for underrated.
Okay. What about overrated?
Oh boy.
You don't have to, you don't
Um,
want to put anyone on blast. You don't have to.
no, no, I will, I guess, but I say this with I know that this is a good shoe and I have experienced that it's good, but I just don't think that it works for everyone. And I think that's why I think it's so overrated. And I'm gonna say probably like the Nike Vaporfly.
Oh,
I think it's a great shoe, but
mhm.
I think it's overrated because I don't think it's not as comfortable for me at least. Let's take me for example. I'm a middle of the pack runner. Everyone's stride is different, but that shoe feels super uncomfortable to me.
Mm,
Every version of it after like 10 miles, probably less than that.
okay.
I don't have a super efficient stride, and I don't think everybody out there not everybody does, and that's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
But, I think there are other super shoes out there that are more accommodating to people who maybe don't have the most efficient stride. That being said, I think the shoe is excellent. It was the pioneer of super shoes, but for me, I think it's a little overrated. There are other shoes out there that you could also try. It's not the only one, is what I'm trying to get at,
Okay. All right.
I guess.
Daniel Burton agrees with you. He said he sent his back. He didn't
Wow,
like
I was definitely afraid that you were gonna get a bunch of
it.
comments that were like, "She doesn't know what she's talking about." So
No,
I'm glad
no,
that you
if you
someone
wanna do a
agrees.
little Vaporfly bashing, I think you might be in the right place.
Okay.
I think it's a decent shoe. I think it's one of
No,
those
it
I
is,
think
it
that,
is.
it's a great shoe, but, like, that I think it's for me, I'm like, if someone walks up to me and is like, "What's a great racing shoe?" And that's the only thing that they ask, there's not like, "I have this kind of stride," or "I run this kind
Mm,
of pace," like, with no other information. I'm like,
yeah,
"I'd probably be happy with a Vaporfly or an Alphafly." It works for a large population of the people.
yeah,
And it's a good kinda like a basic answer, I think,
mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
yeah, but I know it doesn't agree. I just was talking to someone yesterday, um, Marnie Salop. I was on her podcast we filmed yesterday, and she was like, "I do not
Mm.
like the Vaporfly at all," but she does like the Rocket X2. So,
Well, I do like that shoe, so we have some stuff in
there
common,
you
but yeah,
go. Brian
it's
Lang said the Vaporfly made my toes bleed and feet hurt in my
oh,
first marathon, and he didn't like them either. Oof.
yeah. I can't see it going well for me if I try to take it 26.2 miles.
Yeah. All right. Let me give you some of mine. I didn't really I asked the question and I set up the game and I
Oh,
didn't
yeah, I
use
wanna know what your answer is.
it. I do like the Propel 4 answer, but I don't
Mhm.
I feel like it's rated. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of
Okay,
people have
fair.
been paying attention to it this year. Like I've never ever thought about running in the Propel, and then I saw like that lots of people were like, "Dude, this year it's good." And I was like,
Mm,
"Okay, let's try it." And I think it was
okay.
actually really good. Sometimes I just look at the wall. I'm like, "What's underrated?" Um,
Underrated's a tough one.
yeah, because like, here's the thing, like, I think right now, and maybe it's because 'cause I'm in the echo chamber here, but, like, um, I feel like there aren't a lot of shoes that are completely underrated, or earlier someone said Takumi Sen, but, like, I talk about Takumi Sen, like, every week.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like, I don't think I run in a ton of, like, underrated shoes. I feel like
Mm,
what I get,
mhm,
I is pretty, like are mostly pretty, like, rated or well known, you know what I mean?
mhm,
There's nothing super outside of the box,
yeah.
so I went with something that maybe people wouldn't pick up over, like, I don't know, a 1080 or some other
Yeah,
mid-launch.
but, I mean, the way that I was leaning, though, on the question is, like,
Mhm,
kinda similar to you, where you picked, like, I guess, the budget shoe, in air
mhm.
quotes, but I like the Float Red Energy 5. Like, I don't know what it doesn't look
Oh,
like they changed
yeah.
it a lot, but like
Uh-huh.
it's very different from number 4 in my
I
opinion.
have that, but I have not run in it yet, but it's on my list. So you like it? Yeah, good to know.
I do. I do. I think that like people that like the Propel will probably like the Floatrite Energy 5.
Mhm.
They feel a little bit different, but I feel like there's also a lot of similarities there too that I think that person that likes one will probably get along with the other one.
Okay.
So I think that's a good one. You
Yeah.
said something though when you were talking about the Propel that I had a question about. I want to follow up as I'm waiting for shoes that are trying to think of shoes that are overrated,
Mhm.
but I'm killing time. But
Okay.
you said like you ran in the previous versions of the Propel and then you never ended up reviewing them. What what makes that happen to you?
Um, oh, that's easy. I don't run enough miles in the week
Okay, okay.
to run in all of these shoes, and, I everyone's busy, so this is a silly excuse, but sometimes with work and scheduling like that, I just don't have the time to
Okay.
get it all in, and if it's not a problem that I have that I've always thought that I need to work on with my channel is if, there's a lot of shoes that I review that I don't really love, but there could be more. Sometimes if I run in a shoe and I don't really like it, I won't always review it because I'd rather be running in shoes that I semi enjoy to really enjoy, if that makes sense, with the amount of miles that I have time for. But I wanna run in more shoes I don't like for the channel, I guess, is where I'm going with it. Um, but yeah, that's kinda where it goes. Like, it's an
Okay.
okay shoe, it's fine, but then I get caught up in other stuff down the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. I was just trying to think if there was, like, a reason with the other Propels other than, like but, like, real life getting in the way.
Yeah, yeah, and they just didn't really wow me.
Yeah.
The one in 2019 wowed me for the price tag,
Mhm.
and I thought it was a nice bouncy shoe when there wasn't as many bouncy shoes and fun shoes out. I mean, that was kind of when it was all sort of starting. Um, but then as the years go on, there's just other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That gave me enough time to think about a shoe that I think is overrated.
Oh, I can't wait to hear. What do you
I
think?
I think and but here, I think that you really like this one, that's the thing. But
Um,
I think the SC Trainer was overrated version.
oh my God, my heart is broken. Oh my, I can't believe you. Please explain this to me.
I just think that it was, as fun as it was, like, in the heel and in the
Mhm.
midfoot, I just think that it felt like it just had a gigantic heel drop, and I felt like in the front of the shoe, which is where I like all the squishy parts, I feel like it got too flat or, like, I
Wow.
felt like I was just feeling that rubber pad on the bottom
Yeah.
part of the carbon plate. I feel like I was landing directly on that, and so,
It's so
like
funny that you say that because somebody just commented on I just reviewed the version 2 of that shoe. Someone
Mhm.
just commented saying that they thought that literal exact same thing. But
Oh,
I didn't personally find that, like, I mean, obviously, there's a ton of cushioning in the heel. Just look at the thing.
yeah.
But I did feel like there was enough for me, I guess, in the forefoot. But yeah, people share that same sentiment that you have. They feel like it kinda drops off and it's not as exciting, but, I just love it.
I
I
know,
don't
I
know.
mean, and you set your PR in I think you set your PR in that
I
shoe.
did. I said yeah, I did, and I the V2 is also a really solid shoe, a lot different. Have you run in the V2 yet?
No, no, I was just, complaining on the live stream yesterday that
Hmm.
everyone else seems to have it, but no one
You don't have it yet? Oh my god,
no.
you got
Well, here's the thing, like, they sent me another shoe that's under embargo until October,
oh,
but they
sick.
sent me
That's
an
cool.
email saying that they're gonna, like, send me that, and then they send me the SC Trainer, and so I
Oh,
had gotten it ready to do an unboxing on the channel, and then
mhm.
I was, like, looking in the box, I'm like, "Oh, I can't show this to you guys."
Oh,
So,
no.
there was no
Freak
unboxing
out.
that day.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't gotten the SC Trainer 2 yet, but I'm like, maybe they know I'm not gonna like it. Maybe that's why they're keeping it
I don't
from me.
know.
I might just have to I'm not gonna buy it if they don't send it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's more even. I'd say,
Okay.
like, there's
Mm,
not as steep as of a drop. Doesn't feel
yeah,
like you're, like, in a high heel,
yeah, yeah.
but it's a little more even, but I
Okay,
don't
it's
love it as much, but
here's the thing. Here not having run in it,
mhm.
knowing a little bit about it, having seen it at the running event, I think I'm going to, like like it more, but be
Mhm.
disappointed. That's kind of what my gut, and I try not to have too many ideas ahead of time with a shoe, but I'm like, everyone's been talking about it and I don't have it, so, like, my mind's just racing, and I feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a more normal shoe, which I'm like, "Well, this makes
Yes.
sense." I'm like, but the first one was wild. There was
Mm,
things I didn't like
yeah.
about it, but it was, like, this crazy shoe, and I liked it a lot. I like the
Yes.
fact that it was crazy, and I'm like, "It's probably less crazy this year." So that's kinda like my concern.
That was exactly my
Oh.
takeaway was that it's less crazy, and despite that maybe being a positive for some, I don't know, it didn't have, like, that wow factor, but if you're in the Boston area on this coming Tuesday, you can come try them out at Heartbreak Hill Running, I
Oh,
think.
okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna be there with Megan Featherston,
Oh,
Megan
cool.
Murray, and Jess Movald. We're doing, like, a group run there.
Oh,
So
man, I wish I could. I'm gonna be
I know, I
in
wish you could too.
Atlanta.
Oh, right, I saw that with Drew.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more,
Mhm.
and then I'll let you go. Because this 45 minutes already flew by so fast.
I
So you're gonna
know.
be running New York, though, this year?
I am gonna be running New York, yeah, with Believe in the Run and New Balance, so that's fun. I'm really
Very,
excited about that,
very
yeah.
cool. Have you decided what you're gonna race in yet?
No. I mean, maybe the Super Comp Trainer too. I'm not really sure yet. Maybe that, but maybe if they're like whatever the new SC Elite
Mhm.
is like will work for me. I haven't seen it yet, but that's a possibility. Um, yeah, I haven't decided yet. But I mean, I could see myself running in the SC Trainer V2. It's just not like as exciting, I guess. It doesn't excite me as much, but,
Yeah.
maybe with, a couple more miles on it, who knows? I think it
Would
would be
you
comfortable enough.
would you consider busting out an old pair of V1s of the SC Trainer?
Yeah, I would. I'd
Okay.
love to run in a new shoe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if it's not in the cards, yeah, I would run V1 for
Okay.
sure.
Cool, and so, like, as part of the training for NYC, you're going to
Mhm.
Boston this
Yes.
weekend, or
Yes. Monday through, Wednesday.
well, that's cool. And are you guys gonna do anything? You guys are doing a group run, but are you guys doing other, like, fun
Yeah.
tests and stuff while you're up there?
Um, we're going to the New Balance headquarters to kind of do like I think sort of like a VO2
Oh,
testing
cool.
sort of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm really excited for that. I think they did it last year
Mhm.
with their Train to NYC team.
Okay,
And it looked like a really cool experience. I watched the video on it to kind of get an idea of what to
okay, yeah.
expect. Yeah.
Are they
But
gonna put you in a room that gets extra hot and extra cold, like one of those
I
kinda
don't know.
treadmill
I
rooms?
honestly don't know. I'm going completely blind and I'm
Okay.
definitely like the least elite runner there out of the 3 of these girls, or
Yeah.
the 4 of us, but, um, so a little intimidated and nervous, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, and then after that, are you doing any other races to get ready, or what else is on the docket, if you can share at
Um,
this
as
point?
far as Train to NYC goes, I don't
Mhm.
think there's any other races. I think maybe there's something in, like, September,
Okay.
but I don't know if that's set in stone, but I think I'll probably do, like, other stuff. Like I'll do stuff here, like locally on my own, just to get my legs turning over a little bit, maybe a half marathon or something like that.
Okay.
Another
Well,
one. We did just do the RBC Brooklyn half.
right, right.
Yeah.
Did you get stuck in that weird car, when they were all
No, no. So um no, my because I'm local to the
Yeah,
area kind of, my wife like drove her car,
okay.
to pick me up, so I kinda separated from the group after the after the race, but I did see the weird car ride part, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this looks like a completely wild time." Because you couldn't get an Uber, you couldn't even get out of Coney Island, it took us, like, an
Yeah,
hour, so,
yeah. Well, like,
yeah,
I was listening to their story, and I've talked to them about it too. I'm like, "Why
yeah.
didn't you guys just take the train?" I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
know, yeah, it probably
understand
would have been better.
that.
It's a good point.
Alright, well, I don't wanna take up too much more of your time. I hope you get some rest over the weekend, and,
Thank
guys,
you.
if you're gonna, be in the Boston area, make sure you hit up that group run. That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of fun, and, I won't be running New York this year, but I'll be around for the weekend, so I
Oh,
look forward
cool.
to cheering you on the course.
Nice. We'll have to meet up.
Alright, guys, don't forget, I'll put links in the description once we're done here, but go for those of you who are watching this on YouTube later, but not live, but go and hit that follow button on Emily's Instagram, get her to 10,000.
Please.
And then also, if you're not subscribed to Emily, I'll put a link to her YouTube channel as well. So you can hear her sing the Good Morning YouTube song.
Yeah.
She sings so well.
You
So
can only hear it if you go there to my YouTube
exactly.
channel.
All right. All right. Well, thanks, Emily, so much for joining me today.
Thank you
And
for having me.
we'll have to have you on another time soon when you're not coming off of overnights, and we'll play
Yes.
that too.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Emily, hang out for just a second here, but I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. That's going to be it for today. Monday, we'll do another unboxing. We'll have another video. I'm not sure what the video is going to be yet on Monday. I have to go look at my calendar, but hopefully there'll be a video Monday morning, and then we'll do a live stream same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Enjoy your long runs.